Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Wednesday evening, so let's begin. First up, we begin with breaking news. Report: Utah man, woman linked to deaths of Romney couple captured in Mexico. Man spotted driving New Hampshire couple's truck charged with theft, officials say. A Utah man and woman who might be connected to the deaths of a couple from Romney, New Hampshire, has been located, officials have told ABC News. The Kilburg County Sheriff's Office in Texas has confirmed to ABC News that Adam Curtis Williams, 33, and Amanda Norver were captured in Mexico. No details of their capture have been released. Neither has been charged in connection with the deaths of Jim and Michelle Butler, but an arrest warrant has been issued charging Williams with felony theft. Police said they identified Williams and Nora after the two were spotted on surveillance video driving the Butler's pickup truck and trailer into Mexico. Days after the pickup truck and trailer crossed into Mexico, the Butlers' bodies were discovered in shallow graves on Paradise Island in Texas. According to family members, Jim Butler, 48, and Michelle Butler, 46, loved to travel and were on a cross-country trip when they decided to camp out on Paradise Island. We are glad to hear the arrest has been made and await what's next, said Debbie Van Loon, James Butler's sister. It's unclear how Williams and Nora ended up with the Butlers' pickup truck and trailer and whether the four met. Investigators have not mentioned a possible motive for the killings. This is breaking news story. It will be updated as more information comes into our newsroom. Colin Bulcher filing for primary stresses her proven progressive credentials. U.S. Senator from Minnesota seeking Democrat nomination for president filed today at the New Hampshire State House and will be on the primary ballot. Colorado Senator Michael Bennet looks back 35 years to Gary Hart for a path to primary win. Moderate Democrat filing for New Hampshire primary hammers Medicare for all as unpassable in America. Man found guilty of beating 2-year-old boy to death. Mark Heath convicted of second-degree murder. A man was found guilty Wednesday of second-degree murder in the beating death of a 2-year-old boy. Mark Heath faces a sentence of 35 years to life in prison after a jury convicted him of killing a 2-year-old, Jacob Pelletier. The minimum sentence Heath faces is higher than usual for a second-degree murder conviction because the victim was a child. Prosecutors said Heath beat Jacob to death in December of 2017 after he became angered when the boy spilled food on his bed and had a messy diaper. Defense lawyers suggest that the boy's mother could have caused the fatal injuries. Prosecutors said the mother was at work at the time and he was babysitting the boy. And now let's take a look at that U.S. stock market and see how U.S. stock market closed for this Wednesday evening. And here's a look at that U.S. stock market for all of you for this Wednesday evening. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the red and went down. Your Nasdaq closed in the red and went down. S&P 500 closed in the green and went up. Gold closed in the green and went up. Oil closed in the red and went down. U.S. 10-year closed in the red and went down. Euro/USD closed in the green and went up. And VIX closed in the red and went down. Stocks rose, close little changed as rally losses steam on trade deal uncertainty. Stocks closed Wednesday's sessions little change, struggling to sustain the recent rally that drove the market to record highs as traders worried about U.S.-China trade discussions. Kentucky GOP governor refuses to concede race. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Now to overnight the election results that are coming in for high-stakes races that could be a sign for 2020. Democrats winning big in Virginia, claiming a narrow victory in the Kentucky governor's race, but the incumbent there is saying not so fast. Lindsay Davis is in Louisville, has the latest for us. Good morning, Lindsay.
Hey, good morning to you, Robin. In this building right behind me, that is where Kentucky Republicans had their watch party last night. And all in all, there was a lot to celebrate except for that top spot. Despite coming up short about 5,000 votes, the governor is defiant, citing voting irregularities and refusing to step down. Overnight, Republicans close to losing their grip on the Kentucky governor's seat. Kentucky's Attorney General, Democrat Andy Beshear, claiming victory over the incumbent Governor Matt Bevin, enjoying a razor-thin lead of a few thousand votes.
Tonight, I want to say thank you to our union families that helped make this election happen.
Even with 100% of the votes in, Republican Matt Bevin is still refusing to concede. The Associated Press says the race is still too close to call.
There have been more than a few irregularities. This is a close race. We are not conceding this race by any stretch.
My expectation is that he will honor the election that was held tonight, that he will help us make this transition.
Even though the race was close, Bevin's loss in the Bluegrass state could be a bad omen for GOP leadership, including Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, who's up for re-election next year with just an 18% approval rating in his home state. Trump carried Kentucky by 30 points in 2016, but he was forced to rally support behind Bevin on the eve of the election in this typically red state.
And if you lose, they're going to say Trump suffered the greatest defeat in the history of the world. This was the greatest. You can't let that happen to me.
Now Trump's campaign is taking credit for what they call a stronger than expected performance, saying in a statement the president just about dragged Governor Matt Bevin across the finish line. But with no mandatory recounts for the governor's office in Kentucky, Bevin's options are limited and could lead to a long and drawn-out legal battle. In Virginia, a clearer upset for Republicans as Democrats flipped control of both the state house and the state senate. This victory is not mine alone. It belongs to all of you, taking control of the full state government for the first time in more than 2 decades. Certainly a big win for Virginia's embattled governor after that blackface scandal. Next up, Louisiana. President Trump heads there tomorrow for a rally. This will be his 3rd time in a traditionally Republican southern state in less than a week. Definitely surprising, George.
It is surprising. One of the big things we're seeing, suburban voters in all those states moving towards the Democrats. Lindsay Davis, thanks very much. Hi, everyone.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Wednesday evening, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. Good night and bye, everyone.